Hello, my name is Kyle Cobble. This is for Political Science 364. I'm arguing that military intervention in Syria should not be an option. The basis for my argument is based first and foremost off the definition of military intervention that I pulled from the Dictionary of Military and Associated Terms. It says, military intervention, the deliberate act of a nation or a group of nations to introduce its military forces into the course of existing controversy. That's the definition according to this. Included in my understanding of that definition would be drone strikes, weapon deals, sending military units to to train certain groups of people, as well as the traditional warfare or the so-called boots on the ground. I developed this opinion based off of post-2000 military intervention in the Middle East and in Libya, which is in North Africa, but predominantly Muslim, so I figured it'd be okay to use it as an example in this case. So, in Afghanistan, we went in with the mission statement of we are going to defeat the Taliban, we're going to build a strong police force, a strong army, and a strong government. Unfortunately, none of those objectives were achieved. When excuse me. In 2004, we withdrew. Arguably, many would say, many military leaders from what I've read online have said prematurely. We shouldn't have left as early as we did. We should have left more forces than we did. But that was what the American government was able to negotiate with the Afghanistan government, and that's that. That's all we could do. Since we've left in 2014, thousands of lives are still being lost a year. This is due to not just the Taliban, which still has strongholds, especially in like Waziristan and everything, and those type of areas where the American coalition was never able to make a good enough headway to reduce their their power and their strongholds. The government has also used illegal militias to enforce their power, because not only does that Taliban not consider them to be legitimate, but many in their own country do not consider the Afghanistan government to be legitimate. So we went in, we spent a lot of lives and a lot of resources, precious, valuable lives that'll never be returned, and got nothing for it, essentially. Many military commanders have said that the Taliban is regaining strength again. Okay, second example is Iraq. Everybody knows the story of Iraq. I'm not going to repeat the details. When we left a broken country. Not a failed state, but the country had a constitution that was largely written by us, by the United States, and just the government was not created organically by the country, therefore was not seen as legitimate. Many pundits would say the rise of ISIS is directly linked to military intervention by the United States coalition forces in Iraq. Whether it's true or not, ISIS has committed untold horrors that stand true to show that our methods of intervention have not been successful. Again, as I mentioned, in North Africa, Libya was one other country that we used military intervention in, and we unseated Gaddafi, who now we realize was the glue that held the country together. He was a dictator. He was a strong man, not somebody that we as Americans may like, but there was less violence. So am I arguing for him having stayed? No, I'm not. But our intervention seemed to have made things worse, not better. Now, the original question is, should we or should we not use military intervention in Syria? My answer is no, because of these three experiences that we have. We do not have a blueprint that we can follow on how to help a country rebuild, because we haven't done so successfully yet. The American experiment worked in America. The Middle East has very different values, and this is going to be my last and final point since I'm going over time. The reason military intervention does not work is because many of the problems in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Egypt, everywhere affected by the Arab Spring, Iran, everywhere in the Middle East, is a divide of Sunni and Shiites. The war they're fighting over there is not a war just of bullets, not a war just of bombs, it's a war of ideas. They're following two different caliphs, one that believes in the divine ascension through Muhammad, or through the Prophet Muhammad, and one that believes in electing a new caliph when the previous caliph disappears. It's very similar to when the when Rome broke apart, the Great Schism, when it was split in two, and each side had a pope. Each side was very loyal to their pope. You're fighting loyalty, you're fighting beliefs, you're fighting people's idea of what gets them into the most desirable afterlife. Based on our tactics that we've used so far, it's clear that military intervention is not the answer. Thank you very much.